Alright, prisoners, time to wake up. Let's get this base online. Starting out, indeed, in Fox's Ghetto Prison. This is Oxygen Not Included, episode 30-something. I'll leave it up to you guys to remember. So, I did say that I was going to work the base up a bit, and we have. Let me show you what I've done. So, for starters, you'll see I've put Weezewarts just kind of all over the place. They haven't had enough time to get going, but you can already see some temperature change in these areas over here. The heat shield that we built is basically done. There might be a few areas that are up. I think we got a bonus. Gold. The heat shield is basically done. There might be a few holes in it, but for the most part, it should essentially be done. Let's see. Yeah, all this is looking fine. Obviously, they need to put something... That's not a big deal, though. Yeah, all this is abyssal light. That's fine. See, I think the heat shield is basically done. I'll probably take a look periodically to see if there are holes in the shield. But, so that's what got done. I told you that we were running low on algae. Now we've got... basically 30 tons of algae and 60 tons of slime, because this entire area just got demolished, and all of this polluted water is being like... I didn't go any farther than this, because I was like, you know, the water's already pooling up here. That's a perfect place to stop. There's slime lung everywhere in here. Already starting to die off, though. You can see we just got these just armored columns of deodorizers there to fight back against the slime lung. And obviously there's ladders, just tons and tons of ladders everywhere. These systems are currently offline because we're just not using them. Let me see, let's turn this up to an 8 and make this the crude oil. 7. I did get some more hatches, or not hatches, slicksters. I'm gonna try to keep them alive this time just because there's a ton of carbon dioxide here, and slickster's a great way to get rid of the carbon dioxide. So the base cleanup isn't done yet, technically. Well, not even technically, just isn't done. I need to start getting rid of some of this carbon dioxide, but it's really not that big of a deal. Why is there so much polluted... Are these off-gassing? These might be off-gassing. Like, we may need to add some more chlorine pressure in here. I'll figure that out later. This is not like a dire concern. I mean, one of the things I could do just real quick is add in some of these. And then I could just build some of these there. Make these priority 7. Just to make sure it's not polluted oxygen. Clean oxygen won't affect the food. So, yeah, so we've cleaned up the base. Like I said, there's still more to do. But up here... Oh, looks like we've got a meteor shower. Over here, you can see this is... it doesn't matter. I don't care if this is getting damaged. Even if the ladder's damaged, you could still climb up and down. It doesn't really affect it. So once this meteor shower is over, what we're going to start doing is... Oh, let's go see if our steel refinery is cranking out more steel. We need a lot of steel. We need, like, all the steel. Out of carbon, refined carbon. So let's queue up some more carbon. 10. Is the oxygen really thin in here or something? I think it is. Another thing I did was, these systems here were getting a bit backed up, so I added in the high-pressure gas vents. So you can see here that 2,000 grams, 2 kilograms is typically the max gas pressure, but with a high-pressure gas vent, I could force it past it. And that was the problem, that basically, these things were getting backed up and we weren't getting as much oxygen as we could get. So by adding those in, it's just going to force more, up to 20,000, up to basically 20 kilograms. But I don't think it'll ever get to that point. It'll start to hurt the duplicant's ears if the gas pressure gets too high, but I don't think it's going to get to that point. And if we do start filling up, then all it means is we get more duplicants to breathe more oxygen. So as you can see, we're nearly done. This is the final thing. So I've been scanning this entire time. So what we found is a 2 gilded asteroids, another metallic asteroid. We got a gas giant, a massive volume of hydrogen formed around a small solid center. We've got a red dwarf, an M-class star orbited by clusters of extractable aluminum and methane. We've got volcanic planet, a large terrestrial object comprised mainly of molten rock, and this very last one should be the temporal rift. Once we scan that, the only reason we will need the telescope is to designate missions on the star map. But what we're going to start doing is beginning to get the shielding system in place. So, right here. So, right here, this is what... Basically, this is the proper measurement. These are out of position. But for right now, this is fine. So this rocket is kind of useless at the moment because we can't really do a whole lot more with it. How tall is this? That's not going to be tall enough. So we're going to need to dig downwards and make room for the next rocket type, which is going to be the petroleum rocket. The petroleum rocket is a lot taller than the steam rocket. So it's not going to be able to fit in here with all the modules. Because like, we're going to want to send the petroleum rocket with 5 of these. And this is already the maximum height. So the petroleum rocket is going to need basically 1 more module. Because what it needs is an engine, but then it needs a liquid fuel tank. And it's also going to need an oxidizing tank. So it's going to need... This will be the engine. This will be the fuel storage. Because the steam one houses the storage inside the engine. That's not how the petroleum engine works. The petroleum engine, it's just the engine. Then you have a petroleum fuel tank. Then you have an oxidizer, because the engine doesn't work without fuel and an oxidizer. Then we will need 5 of these, so it's going to be basically 2 modules taller. So what we're going to do is probably clean all of this up as well. Like, this is going to be kind of a messy process. Fortunately, it dips down pretty deep in here. Like, even down into here, this should be enough to fit the petroleum rocket in. We're going to keep this, though, because what I want to do is eventually reconstruct this into a... In fact, we could just... We can scrap the rocket. There's nothing wrong with that right now. Yeah, we'll just scrap the rocket, because we could use the steel from it. Fortunately, we're building this... Oh, wait, we built this wrong. That's not correct. We skipped a space. We need to make sure that there's no gaps in it. So right here, we make these a 9, which means these are going to be out of position as well. Go to maximum speed. Let's just have them doing this as well. Let's make this an 8, because I do want them to drill this, but I don't want them to drill this at the expense of constructing this stuff. Actually, let's do it like this. These will be 8s. These will be 7s. That way we leave the 9s, like all of the other 9s, for important things. 8. Fortunately, deconstructing them, it just means that the steel drops down there, and then they can just redo it. Let's make sure we're doing this a little slower. Oh my god, look at that. We just conveniently happen to have the correct measurements. Just by chance. That's super, super fortunate. Yeah, we really need to get this area protected. Deconstructing all of this means that we'll just be able to build the shielding faster. So the issue we're gonna have... Let's go ahead and trim this up too. Because once we get this done, then those stupid meteorites will stop interfering with us. Woo! Now, one of the things you might wonder is, why don't we just leave it shut all day? You know, that's you could do that. There's nothing stopping you. It'll all just pile up right over here. The reason why you would want to open it up is because, and I'm not just talking about opening it up for scanning, opening it up for the rocket launches, but why would you want to open everything up? It's because there's actually a lot of really good stuff in here. Some of the meteors are made out of metal, or partially made out of metal. And they're going to basically just drop in just materials for us. They're going to drop in metallics for us to use. So basically, it's a way to farm more metals. And the more metals we have, the better, because like right now we've got that refined... We've got a... What is wrong with this? Like, why is this a top priority? Why is this overheating? Just gonna delete it. Deconstruct it. But we're not using this system at the moment. Dig this up on a 7. Oh god, it's everywhere. Already doing a great job. Oh, that's an atmo suit from the shuttle, or the rocket needed an atmo suit. So, basically, until we can get this petroleum rocket going, our rocket research is kind of frozen at the moment, because we need to be able to get to these two to continue our research. I mean, we could repeatedly farm these ones here, but we would get like 50, we would get 10 research each, so we get like 50 research each, which, I mean, there is an argument to do that. Like, you could do that. So what we're going to need to do is probably deconstruct this, and we'll just start making one of these down here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just need to clear this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this should be the last one. Yeah, they should be able to climb back up that anyways. Put one here. So, here is our priorities. This is going to be a 9. I want them to finish that. So, our priorities are going to be, this is going to be an 8. All of this is going to be an 8. Basically, I want them to prioritize building the ladders over digging. And so these are going to be 7s. Let me just paint this large area, and then we will do the finer details, like so. Now this is where we're going to be really glad that we expanded our atmo suit docks. Remember when we only had like 4 or something? Or 3? Like, that would make this extremely difficult. Now, we can't dig through neutronium. Like, it's basically indestructible. It just forms the boundaries of the level, so that's its function. And yeah, they're going to start drilling this area out. I've learned that it doesn't really matter if the vacuum is everywhere. Like, we don't need to put drywall everywhere. It's not irrelevant. It's not necessarily relevant. Like, basically, the only reason you want drywall is if you want to impact the temperature of something. And that's because in order for... Basically, everything in the void doesn't really exchange its temperature unless it's touching something. And basically, if you wanted a device to exchange heat with something, that would be the way that you could introduce air into it. Or if you just wanted to create a room that the duplicants could actually exist in, that would be another reason. But basically, we're not going to care nearly as much about... I'm also going to deconstruct all of this stuff because it's all steel. Let me make sure I'm not severing any cables. I'm not. Yeah, so we're just going to strip all of this away on probably an 8. Just because all of this steel could be used to continue expanding out here. Which I'm going to do. Good. Make these 8s, 7s. That way they have a mixture of tasks to do. The people who are specialized in drilling will drill. The people who are specialized in building will build and deconstruct. We're going to get plenty of mafic rock from this as well. That'll restock our reserves of rocks. I think what I'll do is build these here. Obviously extremely hot up here. When does this overheat? At 257, so it's almost ready to overheat. These at an 8. Might need to put a wheeze board around here. At the same time, we do need to move our power transformers in other directions as well. Like, we need one probably somewhere in here, maybe in this ice area, just to feed cables around. We can already see the effectiveness of this shielding system that we've built. And of course, there's all of the asteroid over here. Which is a lot. But the main part we care about is this section. This is the main section that we care about. And now that this is done, we get 2 benefits. 1, we don't have to worry about rocks falling on, busting us up. And 2, this is blocking the light, so over here we don't have to worry about anybody getting sunburned. Which, sunburn isn't really that bad of an effect. The main thing it does is, it stresses people out. The one thing that's kind of annoying about rockets is you can't build them... Scalding? Why? Not sure what they are going on about. So one of the things that's annoying about rockets is you can't build them all at once. Like, I can't put the engine and then the modules on it. Like, I can't put the petroleum engine down and then... let me wait. And then put the liquid tank and then the oxidizer. I have to build them one at a time. So, like, one thing is, I want to have about 50 units of space. Yeah, so down here is pretty good. This is probably going to be where the rocket's going to be. Because it needs to be, like, we want about 50 units of space just to ensure that there's clearance for the rocket. And that means all of this will probably get deconstructed as well. Like, we can go ahead and get started on that. All of this is going to get deconstructed. Because it just wasn't necessary to begin with. Like, when I was first starting up here, I thought it was really important to have some atmosphere at all, but there's... You don't need it. Like, you've got the spacesuits on. And many of the things like this thing can't overheat. It doesn't have an overheat temperature. This does, but as long as nothing touches it to transfer heat onto it, then it's never going to overheat. So it's at 113 degrees right now. It doesn't overheat until 527 degrees. Well, there's no way for anything to touch it. Any regolith will fall on top of the these airflow tiles. And these airflow tiles, they don't transfer temperature unless there's something flowing in the airflow tile, like unless there's actually an atmosphere. There's no atmosphere here, so there's basically no way for it to transfer its heat. So even if like a bajillion degree regolith is on top of this airflow tile, they're going to stay at 88 degrees basically, and that means this won't get affected by it. One has slime lung. That's not surprising. We did dig up a ton of slime lung. Let's see, how tall is this? Oh, looks like they dumped a bunch of crap on us. It's kind of like if you hit a tree and the tree shakes a bunch of snow on you. That's kind of what it feels like. So I'm probably gonna build the rocket right here. Like this will probably become a platform. So we'll build out of mafic rock. We'll build insulated tiles out of mafic rock. Right about here. Insulated tiles out of mafic rock. Build them at an 8. And not there or there. This will allow them to get down. 7. So I'll probably make a jump cut. I will probably be right back. Because it's just drilling. And what can you say about it? It's drilling. Like, they need to clear this large space out. Although I could start getting the petroleum set up. So here's our petroleum. What I kind of want to do is... Where's our water line that we were using to go up to the surface? Here. Okay, so this is our water line. I'm thinking about using this, the same water line, and just creating a filter so that it can sift through the different liquids. Take the copper. Let's see how we could do this. I also trimmed up a lot of the wires in order to try to better get an idea of, like, what's going on here. Or a lot of the piping and whatnot. Because a lot of it was just getting really, really confusing. Where, like, for example, where does this go? This was for oil. And, oh, yeah, I remember now. Oh, we can use this then. This hot line is perfect. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So this line here, we'll just disconnect. And this is what we'll use for our petroleum. I really need to reorganize some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is just so ugly. Can't do it that way. Like this. It's super, super ugly. Wait, we're going in the wrong direction. Supposed to be going upwards. There we go. Going upwards. And then I'll stop it right there, because I don't want to disconnect it. I don't want to connect it quite yet. This is going to go up, 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 up. And this is where it ends. So we need to... Oops. Gonna bridge over. Not the most elegant of solutions, for sure. But first, I just want to kind of get things going. Let's hop over a bridge over here as well. So many bridges. I usually don't like to make so many bridges just because it makes things really, really ugly looking, really confusing. But we were trying so many ideas that it was... Actually, we're going to be drilling through this entire section, so we can just kind of go like this. Yeah, whoa, 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 let's not go bonkers. So the fuel, where are we going to store our fuel at? How about right here? Just like that. Let's get some mafic rock tiles. Just like that. There, they've got a lot to do. They're doing pretty... Oh, he cut himself off from this. Because he's an idiot. Oh god, he's about to be dead. He's almost out of oxygen. What part can he not get through? Right here. It's this piece right here that he can't get to. Finish that. There we go. The suit should have enough oxygen for him to get back, but we will now need to sweep up his... Taking a deuce. Right on the edge, too. Dropping the deuce all the way down here. Oh my god, how are you just gonna leave the deuce that he dropped right there? Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Okay, so how's our water line looking? Or our petroleum line? It's getting there. I mean, they've got some ways to go, but... Okay, so I'm going to do a jump cut, and what I'm going to do is I will be right back after we're done and we get the fuel in. Okay, so I decided to come back at this point. We are currently building the new rocket system. Took a little bit of time, but not terribly bad, but as you can see, this is completely in the way. You can see this rocket is already almost the height of the other rocket, while at the same time, it's nowhere near done. We only have 2 of the research modules in. That's what I mean by this rocket system is just way larger than the typical one. Let's destroy this over here. Oh my god, I really want you guys to deconstruct that. One thing I gotta do, I gotta find a way for the dupes to get across. Maybe I need a gantry. I could just use it as like a way to transport. Let's see, how big would a gantry be? Could I actually walk across to the other side? Doesn't look like it would quite make it. Basically, it's annoying because in order to get to the other side, they gotta do this, but I might just build... the problem is I don't know how big the rocket is actually going to be. That's part of the problem. We're building this upwards still. Construct that. Oh, we can't reach this one. Oh my gosh. I want these done so bad. Deconstruct it, please! Deconstruct it! They're doing everything except deconstructing this thing. I mean, they need to build this so they can deconstruct that, then we can deconstruct this. And it's all because there was one specific guy who's like, oh, I've got it. Like, this one guy who's, like, not even in the area when those other guys could have just picked up some mafic rock on the ground. Oh my gosh. There we go. Now we can continue building the rocket. So we need 3 more research modules and then the command capsule. And like I said, it's going to be such a bigger rocket. It's all good, though. We're going to need to get over here. Let's make sure we're destroying these in a way where we're not, like, stranding ourselves repeatedly. There you go. As you can see, we're cleaning this area up pretty nicely. Okay, now we can destroy both of these. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep going. And then get rid of those. Okay. This is number 4. Also, we have the petroleum here. 5 tons of petroleum. That's 5 tons is quite a bit. Like the 5 tons will keep the rocket going for a bit. I'm pretty sure it will, because I've launched a petroleum rocket on my other save file, and it didn't use. I mean, it used up. It used up, like, I think it used up less than a third. But at the same time, I don't know if I built a petroleum rocket that was quite as big as this. Because remember that every component has weight, and the more it weighs, the more fuel it's going to need. And this thing needs 2 types of fuel. I mean, 1 type of fuel, technically. This is going to go in here, but then we've got this to deal with as well. This is going to be the solid oxidation. Basically, we're going to have to create oxylite. And that's what we're going to do around here. We're going to create... Maybe we'll make this 2 floors. Make the first floor a steam, and then the second floor a... Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 5. Now we can cap it off with the command capsule, like so. Over here, they've been making progress. You know, progress obviously a bit slow, but... what can you expect? So, the way we make refined oxylite, there's 2 ways to do it. The first way is the industrial method, which is to build a oxylite refinery, which we'll probably build somewhere around here. I want to leave enough room for a second rocket. Refining oxylite is kind of a pain, especially because the duplicates have to manually deliver the oxylite into the tank. We're probably going to demolish this entire thing, to be honest. Even though it's going to waste some of the steam. Like, we're doing fine on steam. Like, we could just... We can even use polluted water. Polluted water will boil into normal everyday steam. It's just that I believe its boiling temperature is a little higher. Off screen, I also, in between the pods, I also went ahead and got this installed so that we can start getting the carbon dioxide out of here. Filling up this room pretty nicely, where the slicksters are eventually going to catch up with it. I think I might put another slickster on here. Yeah, we got 3 eggs. So the slicksters, they don't get trapped in here, so what I'm doing instead is I'm having the system dump the eggs down here. Okay, so this thing is done. Let's see. Oh, first off, let's see. Have we finally scanned the final target? Nope, it's 77% complete. So we would want to go to either of these. It doesn't matter which, because we're just going to go for the sake of research. And it's not telling us what the weight penalty is. So what I want to do is put in... Let's put the fuel to half, so half of that would be 450 kilograms. And what we're going to do is build one of these. Let's just go like this. And I think I want to... I'm not sure how I want to... I mean, I guess we can just do that. I'm wondering, like, because when it fills up... Actually, yeah, I got an idea. I got an idea. We'll just use a valve. That's a simple way to handle it. Just like that. That'll allow us to kind of keep the pipe empty, because basically what happens is, if we pump 450 kilograms of liquid in here, what's going to happen is, it's just going to continuously pump the petroleum in, and when it hits 450, there's still going to be petroleum in the pipe. So what I could do this time, what I could do is basically set it to like 445 or something like that. And when it hits the cap, then we can close the valve, and then we can bump this up to 450, like that, and then it will use the remaining quantity and keep it out. Because that way we don't have to worry about, in the event it gets messy or something, like in the event we need to... In the event we just need to do something different with it. Actually, I want to make this out of mafic rock. Like, what are we doing? Just use a nearby material, like, don't go all crazy on me. Ceramic, tungsten, can we not make it out of mafic rocks? Okay, fine, we'll make it... I can't make any of these pipes out of mafic rock? Wow. That's really annoying, actually. Okay, let's redo it then. There we go. Let's see what our bonus is. Building, decorating, building and cooking. No, I mean, I do want builders, but I'd like a builder and builder/digger. Digging is really good right now. Having a bit of heat issues, and part of that's because this water is really hot. Turns out that we've got a lot of water down here. 90-degree water, pretty hot, pretty warm. So we're pumping in the pretty warm water in here, which is just leaking around, making this area very hot because we're pumping the pretty hot water, 100-degree water into here. One way we can fix that is by switching these pipes to insulated. But on the other hand, one of the problems is that it's just heating the plants up because there's this, it's just really hot water. And the plants don't want the water to be that hot, but they'll just have to deal with it for now. So let's trim away some of this so that we can put the gantry in. Got the meteor shower coming in, but it's helpless against our mighty Great Wall of Ghetto Fox Prison. We gotta prioritize these. Okay, so now we can activate this, which will allow us to start fueling up. The fuel is worthless without oxidizers, though. Put in, we'll limit it to 700 kilograms of oxidizer. Alright, we'll make it the same quantity. 450. We also need to start clearing this. Keep forgetting that these are all at 5, so they're just never going to do it. But yeah, if you were hoping we would shoot the rocket in on the first episode, no. These rocket systems are a lot more complicated. The steam rocket is... I mean, like, it could be annoying to actually produce the steam, but let me tell you, the... Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna start fueling the rocket up, like... It needs the oxidation, though. It needs the oxidizers. Without the oxidizers, it's useless. But we can at least start fueling it up. Get to see that number go up, which is nice. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Now what we can do is activate this, set it to 0, make it a 9. There we go. Now what we can do is bump this. We could turn this off as well. Oh, good. They're doing a great job deconstructing all of it. Whoa. Whoa, camera's going nuts on me. Okay, so now we got that done. Now what we can do is bump this up to 450, and that should get the rest of the fuel out of here. Let's do 500. Oh, wow. That's a lot of fuel in the pipe. 550? 700? 720? 730? 750 just to be safe? There we go. Okay, so this thing has 700 and... That's a lot. That's quite a bit of fuel there. And you can see here that that barely even scratched it, and this rocket, even though I've limited the fuel, it's still 750. It's still quite a bit of fuel. Now we'll know that that's actually a decent amount of fuel in the line. But even if we go here, the problem is total thrust 0, because we can't... Here's the thing. Total oxidizable fuel 0. Even though we have the fuel in the tank, the engine can't burn the petroleum without a source of oxygen, so that's why we need oxylite. Oxylite is the way we get our oxygen. Let's just destroy. I'm just gonna destroy all this crap. This is all just in the way right now. I want it done now as well, not later. What is this pipe going to? Okay, this pipe can stay. The rest of this has to go. Probably have to build these in order to give them room to actually deconstruct everything. Oh man, bit of a hassle, isn't it? Oh man, I'm feeling the lag. And then deconstruct the drywall as well. Alright, so let's see how we're going to build this. Where are we going to build it? Like, as I said, they have to manually bring the oxylite to the rocket, which is kind of a pain. And I want to leave room for a second rocket, so... How many tiles are you wide? You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide. So if it's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me just mark that real quick. And I think I will make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So that's where we're going to build. So the first thing we're going to need is a liquid lock. So right here, like that. Just start getting the initial formation. Oops. Where is it? Plumbing. like so. The next thing we're going to do, these need to be made out of, let's go ahead and make these out of mafic rock. This is all needs to be insulated. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll make it 5 tall. Okay, I see we got a bunch of garbage that fell in. Always got to make sure, we always have to make sure the top is clean so that the space scanner doesn't get distracted. You need to remove these, make these an 8. And this is all going to be insulated. I don't know how long the building is going to be. We don't need this either. Good, good. They're building pretty efficiently. Especially now that they got, like, there were so many work orders here that it was just, they just couldn't get anything done. They were overwhelmed by work orders. See all this metals, though? I mean, some of this metal is from what we've scrapped, but some of it is also metal that we've deposited. Oh, we're almost done. We've almost gotten the final research done. Let's see how big this should be. Where is it? Refinement? Where's the oxylite refinery? Right here. I want the oxylite refinery to be right here. I want it to be as close as possible. So let's remove these on a 9 so that I can better visualize some of this crap. Just get this crap out of my face. Okay, what do I want to do? Refinement? I want the oxylite refinery. Gonna probably make it out of steel just to be safe. Also needs plastic, so you need a little bit of both. Oxylite refinery, check. We're gonna need something to keep it cool. We will need drywall here, so drywall's actually going to come into play here. Make sure it's made out of mafic rocks. Yes, it is. This entire area should be paneled up. The reason for that is because the liquid lock will evaporate, or it'll get sucked into outer space without the drywall to protect it, so we actually do need it here. Then the other reason we need the drywall here is because we need to keep the machine cool. What's the machine stats? Refinement. This machine produces 12 kilodTUs, so hotter than average. Not the hottest. Polymer press easily, it's like almost triple the heat of it, but 12 kilodTUs, that's still pretty hot. So we will need something to cool it down, which is where food, maybe 2 or 3 Wheezeworts should be good enough. And then the other thing we're going to need is let's move this over and put it here instead. Let's get a box. We got a bonus, so let's see what our bonus is. Ranching and decorating, ranching and digging, farming. Nope. I don't even want the food just because like we have food that's actually spoiling because we're not eating it in time, so I don't even want food right now. Trying to think of how else I want to. Let's continue. Let's build the stuff that I know where it's going to go. I know we're going to have this tiled up. Now my next question is, do I want a double lock? Just so that they can kind of get through it a little easier. That's one of the things I'm wondering. I mean, they could climb over it and then come in through over here. That is also an option. Not sure. I'm probably going to need more I'm out of ward seeds. So this is going to be exclusively for oxylite. It's under consumable ore. Oxylite only. And we're going to have an auto sweeper. Where do you fit? You fit right here. That's fine as well. Because the sweeper is in range. Because the oxylite's going to... the oxylite's going to pop out right here where this electrical plug symbol is. So, basically what I'm debating now is I could put another liquid lock on this side, that way they can walk through. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it that way. I don't see any... I can't think of a penalty of... It needs a little more space. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So the last thing that we're going to need is... We have to pump... This has to be filled with oxygen. So we need room for a pump, which there is good. There is room for a pump. We also need room... Okay, this actually does need to be a... No, it doesn't, actually. I lied again. This will fit right here. Or here. Okay, that finishes the lock seal. Maybe I should make it 1 unit farther. Yeah, I want this here. Remove these. So basically the way it works is we're going to have to fill this room full of oxygen. And in order to do that... Oops. This drywall needs to go. It's in the way. Get rid of that drywall. Excellent. Okay, that'll give us enough room. Panel this up. Except for right here. Put that there. Copy this over. Put it here. That'll give us room to put this in. Build it out of gold. I don't think that'll overheat. I don't think any of this will overheat, really. I'm just kind of being safe about it. Yeah, let's see which of these power lines we can use that isn't being, like, completely overwhelmed by electrical demands. In fact, this thing here uses up a lot of electricity. This one right here, it uses 1200. So it probably, this entire system probably deserves its own line, which I'm probably going to put in here. So what I'm probably going to do is drill into here and then cut through a little bit of the abyssalite, turn one of these into like a usable tile, and then just feed it directly into there. And then we'll need to go find 3 Wheezeworts. I mean, already, this isn't super hot. I mean, it's over 100 degrees, but it's not, like, absurdly hot. Like, look, it's only, like, orange. It's mainly this stuff in here that is, heating it up slightly. This just this crap on the ground. But yeah, this should be fine, but we're basically out of time. Like I said, this is a much more complex build. I mean, it's not super complex. Once we get this, and it builds the oxylite, they'll just have to manually bring the oxylite into here, and then we'll be able to go right here, and we'll be able to see how far it can go, and then we'll just send it out. Now, the goal would be to have 2 rockets, so that we could have basically a research rocket, and then a looting rocket. A rocket that could be good for one to go out to go research, and another one that's all cargo to go loot. And if this thing, we could scoot this over. We could scoot this over a little further so that it could go lift off there in the event this is too close. But I think it looks pretty cool. I really like the, this might be the screenshot right here, this new engine system right here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Or perhaps the entire length. I mean, it doesn't even fit on the screen, even with me zoomed all the way out. I think there's a way you could zoom out even further, but I don't know. I don't remember how to completely zoom out. Not clicking, it's not that. I'd have to look at the controls again. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode. So next episode, we will get the oxylite going. I did say that this is the industrial method, which means there is a second method to it, and that would be... Let's just scroll down. These guys, dense puffs. Dense puffs, so the standard puff sucks in... The standard puff eats polluted oxygen and then poops out slime. The pufflet prince is designed to help you breed the others. Like, the other pufflets can't... The other puffs can't be bred without a prince nearby. The squeaky puff breathes in chlorine gas and then poops out bleach stone. I believe it's the only way in the game to replenish your supply of bleach stone. And then the dense puff breathes in oxygen and poops out oxylite. So this is another way you could ranch these guys as a way to get oxylite. I don't know which is more efficient. I imagine this is probably faster, but you could probably breed like multiple pens to like try to outperform this, and then it wouldn't require electricity. It wouldn't require kind of an interesting setup like this. It wouldn't require anything like that in order to succeed in its performance, but you would need to learn to breed puffs. And I'm not very good at breeding puffs yet. That's something I still need to learn how to do. Unfortunately, as like it's very useful to know how to breed puffs. But yeah. That is going to be the end of that. I'll probably work on a little bit more over time. Probably clean up a little bit more. Like I said, I believe we've got some germ problems. Oh, this area, look at that. This germ area is really... The germs are really dying out in this area. Let's see how the gas is looking. This area is really flooded with carbon dioxide. It's not super thick, though. It's only like 400 to 700 grams. Probably because this is starting to thin it out. You can see all of this carbon, but it's getting jammed up. We need to probably breed these at a faster pace to get these, although at the same time, once we run out of carbon dioxide, they'll starve. It's always a problem where you want to breed more to get through the carbon dioxide, but then you breed too many and then they starve. It's hard to produce a lot of carbon dioxide. Probably one of the best ways would be to use a petroleum generator. Petroleum generator is the most powerful individual power plant in the game. Generates 2,000 watts. If you tune it up, it's going to be 3,000 watts. But it needs petroleum, and we kind of want the petroleum for our rockets. But eventually, we wouldn't. I mean, or we could even use... I mean, this is a decent amount of petroleum. Plus, I mean, we could always bring more up from down here. We would need a way to siphon off more of this liquid, though. Also, you can see here, the area is starting to... The Wheezeworts are starting to defeat the heat in this area, and that's because Wheezeworts, they kind of break the rules of physics. They destroy heat. That's normally not something that's possible in the real world. due to the law of conservation of energy. It states, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes forms, meaning if something goes down in temperature, it had to go down from a higher temperature. There had to be an equivalent exchange in energy. But Weezwards can defy that. They just reduce temperature just because they can. They're like, you know what, screw your temperature. Your temperature sucks. But yep, that's the end of this episode. Like this video, is entertaining, subscribe for future Oxygen Not Included content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.